Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel, and this is my last video for 2020. So happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Hope you're having fun closing out this dumpster fire of a year. I'm ready to put it behind me. I bet you are too. So do things start getting better in general tomorrow? I hope so. That would be real nice. I want to say something before I even get into the content. I just want to make clear how appreciative I am that I have this platform. YouTube's awesome, like just period, but the amount of support that I've gotten in particular throughout 2020 has been astonishing. So I just thought I'd share a couple numbers with you so that I could express my gratitude and hopefully help you to understand a bit why I feel so appreciative as I do. Starting this year, my channel, the Moon Lambeau channel with a silly ass name, had about 16,000 subscribers. As I close out the year, I'm currently somewhere in the neighborhood of 58,300. And so that's just like mind blowing to me. I started the channel December 14th, 2018. And so it's a little over 2 years ago, but it took me, in the first 6 months just to get like 200 subscribers. And it really did start to take off from there. But that's a crazy increase to me. Over the life of the channel, I've now gotten 13.7 million views. Like, what? With the silly-ass Moon Lambeau name. And by the way, out of the 13.7 million views, 2.5 million of them happened this month, December. It's just mind-blowing. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I'll never take this for granted. I really do appreciate the opportunity to come on here and talk about Ripple and XRP and crypto-related topics. It is my most favoriteest hobby for real, and I will be here in the good times and the bad times. I guess this is the bad times, right? But hell, I started the channel at the bottom of the bear market, so whatever. This is not a fly-by-night channel. I will be here indefinitely. As long as people are willing to listen to me, I'll be here. So anyway, thank you very much, though. And again, I really hope you guys have an awesome, happy New Year's out there. But I wanted to talk about kind of divisiveness within the community, and understandably so. Emotions are running high with the charges against Ripple from the SEC. But I think that there's been some misunderstanding about some of what was in the claims from the SEC against Ripple. Like so many people have been caught off guard by some of this stuff, and I'm not targeting this towards any one individual. There's just a lot of people in the community and who just didn't realize some of these facts, and they read it for the first time from the SEC and thought that Ripple was trying to hide this. But the truth is, they've been transparent about all of it. Like, all of it. I don't know if there's something that I'm not thinking of in which they weren't transparent, but the stuff people are talking about in terms of, offering price discounts to, investors, and Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson selling XRP. Like, I've covered it on the channel here. Like, I've been talking about this, and so it shouldn't be surprising anybody, but it did surprise a whole bunch of people. And to anybody who thinks that Ripple should have moved forward by now with a greater explanation, look, this is a major deal for Ripple, and they got to get their ducks in a row, and they're going to come back with a major response to what the SEC put out there. But just because we want it to happen now, it doesn't mean that they can articulate their best defense, their best public vocalization of whatever they have to say on our time. It's not going to happen on our timeline. And so we need to chill out. Like, I see all these opinions from people. It's like, oh, they should have done this or that by now. I'm like, why? You don't know internally how like ridiculously time consuming and precise you must be when putting together something like that. And so I do not share that opinion. I appreciate that already at least a few times over the last week, we have seen comments not just from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, but from Ripple, the company themselves. And I've covered it. Like, at least we've gotten something here, right? And so to me, I'm just like, no, let's not rush this. Just let them take their time so they don't mess anything up. And that's going to be fine. And that's what they're going to do. It's not like they're going to rush this because there's some noisy people on Twitter. But that's where I personally stand on this. So I wanted to share with you a couple tweets I put out today. I wrote, for multiple years on my YouTube channel, I've been openly talking about Ripple founders and Garlinghouse selling XRP, as well as Ripple selling XRP to particular entities below market rate with strings attached. It's not shady. If you weren't aware, you weren't paying attention. So many entities that purchased XRP at a discount engaged in extreme risk. Many deals required lockups of months at a minimum, after which they must have been at a loss given the bear market, which has clearly been evidenced. And so even if I think on the high end, the discount might have been as high as 30%, but it could have been as low as 4%, depending on what specific arrangement was worked out. But it's a volume discount. Volume discounts are a thing in life. Are you guys familiar with volume discounts? You are. Yeah, of course you are. And so it's that, but with strings attached. And I would be willing to bet that a ton of these entities were down, even if they got like an initial like quote unquote discount. Whereas if they just would have bought at market rate months later, they would have been better off. And so, but even if they weren't, so what? If you wanted to make one of these deals, if you had the money and you were an institution, you could have done it too. Now, I believe that they may have paused that by now, and maybe they're only working with strategic partners at this point. I actually can't recall off the top of my head, but that doesn't matter. All of these charges, they were public about it too. Like they weren't hiding this. They described like in clear detail that, hey, this is something that we're doing, right? And so it's just amazing to me, so many people getting caught off guard and thinking that Ripple's no longer a trustworthy company. Like, where the hell are you getting these opinions? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's easier for me, though, because I follow this stuff on a daily basis. And so there's not too much notable information like that gets past me. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I don't know. And then, so this was interesting, too. Skunk84 here shared a screen grab from XRP community member Matt Hamilton. And I just wanted to share this before moving on, because I had been thinking this along these lines myself. And it was funny to see this articulated. Maybe you thought of this on your own too, but check this out. He wrote, okay, so because Coinbase obviously is suspending XRP transactions. They're not delisting, they are suspending though. And they're also getting sued for selling unregistered securities. Seriously, I covered it in another video. I'm not going to go in depth in this video, but it's happening. So anyway, Matt Hamilton wrote the following. Okay, so this is hilarious. 1. The SEC is suing Ripple for the alleged sale of XRP as an unlicensed security. 2. Coinbase, who are about to IPO, its initial public offering, dropped XRP from trading on Coinbase amid fear of being caught up in fallout from point 1. 3. Now an individual is suing Coinbase alleging they sold a security. So now I guess Coinbase are going to have to go to court to argue that XRP is actually not a security. I don't know for sure if that's how it's going to go, but like I saw that written, like I hadn't said it on the channel. It crossed my mind. I'm like, that would be, or maybe I did say it on the channel. I can't recall now, but that's the concept. It also kind of made me chuckle too. It's like, so wait a minute. So now Coinbase is on the unfortunate position of having to prove that XRP is not a security of Ripple or any. Okay, and so he ended the tweet by writing, "I'm probably missing gaping procedural legal loopholes and above, but made me chuckle." Yeah, me too. And then there was this too from Marksy05 on Twitter in response to what I shared with you that I wrote on Twitter. He even said it to Julie Chats. He's talking about Julia Chatterley with CNN, referencing what Brad Garlinghouse. He was interviewed by Julia Chatterley on CNN about selling below market rate to specific institutions. Anyway, so he wrote, he even said to Julie Chats at a discount, might need to be fined, a bit more transparency, settle this, and say it's a currency ASAP. All right, and so here you can see I've been talking about this. Here's a video that I put out on June 10th, 2020 titled, Garlinghouse Committed Fraud, Ripple Says No Way. And so look, I told you, like, this is never going to be a hype channel. I'm going to cover the good, and I'm going to cover the bad. And that's just the way that I'm going to roll on this channel. It's not going to be all hype. And so also, when people come out and say a bunch of stuff that I think doesn't make sense and it's negative, I want to tackle it. Like, I just want to, compete in the arena of ideas. I think that's the right way to do it. I think ignoring people that say a bunch of bogus stuff is a really wimpy approach to life, and I'm not going to do that. If I see somebody that's saying a bunch of nonsense about Ripple and XRP, I'm going to correct the record. That's it. I'm going to share my piece. And people don't have to disagree with me. But there's all sorts of stuff like being discussed here that just frankly seems absurd to me. And so into this piece, this is from June 9th, 2020. Again, this is not new information. This is June 9th, 2020 from CoinDesk. Ripple says XRP lawsuit fails to show CEO committed fraud. And so I want to cover just part of this because this is also like the sales here. This is the exact issue that the SEC brought up. And actually, before I even go through it, I'm going to tell you why they're doing it, I think. Check this out. And I retweeted this from Crypto Penny CO. There's an attorney named Jesse Hines, and it shows the tail end of a thread. And he wrote, I'll just read part of this here. He wrote, and to clarify another thing, Ripple has not been sued for fraud. Those statements in there accomplish the SEC's goals. He's talking about the statements in there about Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen selling their XRP, which is the legal assets they own. They can do whatever the hell they want. And there are no fraud charges. There's nothing wrong with them doing that, but they stuck it in this SEC suit. And so here's what the attorney wrote. Those statements and sales and such were included to get an emotional reaction, as they have literally nothing to do with the securities lawsuit. The SEC has not sued for fraud. They have not sued for market manipulation. They have sued only to clarify XRP as a security / damages. And boy, oh boy, did they get an emotional response from many members of the XRP community who weren't paying attention enough, frankly, to know the stuff that I've been sharing on this channel for the last couple freaking years. It's just a shame that it worked, but that's it. They want to make things sound as horrendous as possible, even though it has nothing to do with their actual charges. They just threw in other stuff that they thought would make Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen sound slimy. That's why they did it, and I think that in and of itself is disgusting and reprehensible. So you can see here, where did I want to jump in? Down here a little bit, because there's another ongoing lawsuit separate from the SEC, which I think Ripple's going to be doing fine in just as well. Maybe I wanted to jump in down here. Oh, here we go. In total, Sostak, who was an individual suing Garlinghouse, and Ripple, or maybe it's just Ripple straight up. I can't remember if Garlinghouse specifically was named in this one. I don't know. There's too much lawsuit action. I can't keep it straight. Not all of it. Anyway, in total, Sostak claims Garlinghouse sold 67 million XRP worth $58 million on December 14th. In 2017, which he alleges counts as a misrepresentation, as it coincides with the time when he was also publicly claiming to be very, very long XRP. But Ripple disputes this statement was fraudulent. The lawyers first contest Sostak's claim that Garlinghouse sold a sizable share of his tokens. Quote, plaintiff fails to plead what percentage of his personal balance sheet the alleged sales constitute. They then argue that just because Garlinghouse sold XRP doesn't mean he wasn't still bullish on the token's prospects. Selling a portion of one's XRP holdings does not mean that the seller cannot be very, very long in the same asset as a percentage of his or her own personal balance sheet. Bam, damn straight. And that's why for people that have a problem with, Garlinghouse or Larsen just adjusting the risk exposure they have to XRP, I say that's nonsense. It's silly. Like, it's an asset that they own rightfully, legally. Nothing has been done wrong. There's period. Like, period. Full stop right there, right? And so to get mad at them because they're making money off of this, when they're, by the way, the amount that they're selling, it's nowhere near enough to impact the market. It's nowhere near Jed McCaleb's level, who has been selling substantially more XRP, billions of XRP, and even his level isn't enough to impact the market at like 0.75 or 1% of volume. It's not enough, guys. It's so the idea that we have a problem with other people making money is kind of gross to me. I don't care if they make money, as long as they're still being responsible stewards of the XRP ecosystem, which they are, and as long as I still have an opportunity because they're being responsible stewards. But them personally reducing their risk exposure to XRP doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you, because it sure as hell isn't going to impact the price in any measurable way. It's way too small an amount for that possibly to happen. And so that's what I've been saying. And so again, the filing continues. By way of example, a wine collector who amasses a vast collection of fine wines can be said to be long on wine as a percentage of her net worth. That does not change if the collector decides to sell a few or even many bottles. And I've said that too, because look, I'm long XRP, and I will be indefinitely. And at some point, I believe I will sell some along the way, and maybe a lot. I don't know how much. It depends on what price levels we see. That doesn't mean I won't be long on XRP still. It means that I'll be reducing my risk exposure and putting it somewhere else. So what? I deserve to do that. If you were in that position, wouldn't you have the right to? Of course you would. You'd be able to do that too. I wouldn't give a crap over it. So come on, guys. Like, let's just not go down that path. That's silliness to me. And as a reminder here, before wrapping up the video, I covered this. I'm not going to play this video clip that's on your screen right here. I already covered this recently, but I think it's worth repeating. And Kevin Cage retweeted this from Stewart XRP. It was a video clip of Michael S. Didiuk in which he was explaining why he believes that there's no way XRP could be a security, and he goes on to talk about the Howey test, and that in order to satisfy the Howey test, you have to satisfy all 4 prongs of it, and if you don't satisfy all 4 of these prongs, these aspects of what would make XRP a security, then it's not. So even if 3 out of 4 of them are proven to be verifiably the case, XRP still isn't a security. And he points out that if Ripple, the company, goes away, XRP continues to exist, and so for that reason, it can't be. It's a hard break right there. And so Kevin Cage retweeted that. And wrote, former SEC enforcer literally calls XRP a currency, but I'm sure you BTC maxis are right. Lols, idiots. So there we go. All right, well, that's it for Moon Lambo in 2020. I'll wrap up the video there, but again, I just want to reiterate how appreciative I am to have this platform. The fact that I've reached this level of support from the XRP community, it means the world to me. I could not be more sincere about that. And like I keep saying, I will never take it for granted, but hope you guys have a great evening. Be safe out there. Drink too much if you want to. Why the hell not? And that will be that. But I better get moving here. See you guys next year. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.